All right, so let's talk about some technologies that emerged during this time period to help facilitate long-distance communication and exchange. First of all, we need to discuss domesticated animals. We've talked about the importance of domesticated animals for the Neolithic peoples and how they helped us actually establish settlements, but now they were becoming more useful for trade. They needed to transport goods with relative safety across regions. A lot of times they're traveling across deserts, they're traveling across mountains. They have a lot of material. You're not going to travel thousands of miles without taking a lot with you so you can get a big payoff. And you couldn't carry that all on your own. So we started using what we would consider a beast of burden to bear this weight for us. Horses, llamas, oxen, camels were put into employ as carriers of all these goods. We developed technology like yokes, which keeps oxen together on a team, saddles, stirrups, also the wheel and the wagon. These things became incredibly useful during the change. An introduction of these animals led to a major increase in the amount of trade happening across these land routes, and that's what's really important. Let's talk for a second about trade in the Americas. The Americas exchanged goods, but on a much smaller scale, and because they had the lack of pack animals like horses and oxen. Llama, alpaca, and dog were really their only domesticated animals to be used, and these are smaller animals. Llamas and alpacas can't carry the heavy loads that a horse or that an oxen or even a donkey could carry. And the wheel was never developed for transportation until the Europeans arrived in the Americas in the early 15th century. Dogs would pull sleds loaded with materials. Sorry about that, my phone's ringing. But the narrow and jungle-covered terrain of the Isthmus of Panama made trade from South America to Central America and North America very difficult. Despite these demographic and geographic limitations, there's indication of exchanges of plants, including tobacco and corn, and manufactured goods like pottery, jewelry, and clothing made from animal skins. They were probably made in relay fashion, however, from one village and city to another, and not by merchants on long-distance trade missions. So let's talk about some maritime knowledge. All sea trade depended on ocean currents and wind, and this is true of the Indian Ocean. The monsoon winds blow along the East African coast towards South Asia in the summer and down the East African coast in the winter. This natural clock helped merchants plan the timing and content of their shipments. Small but seaworthy trading ships used by Arab merchants were called dhows, and they used a triangular sail called a lateen to follow these winds. And the lateen could be loosed to catch the wind, and then it could be straightened back out and made stiff to go against the wind.